Hello and welcome to Delaware's capital. This mile-long concrete oval houses some of the most intense racing in NASCAR today. Some of the biggest crowds on the eastern seaboard come back to the Monster Mile to see the best drivers in the world battle door to door, and we all know that Miles the Monster has an appetite for race cars, and we could see that here from race number 5 at Dover International Speedway. It's the Dover 150 for the Lodgebox Series. I am your lead announcer, Honey Sleppy. Oh, I need another drink. I'm your lead announcer, Hunter Sleppy. Join me in the booth tonight, as always, executive producer Harold Darner. How's it going, Harold?
You know, they get on me for messing up the drivers' names, but I don't think I've ever messed up my own name.
I don't think I've ever messed up my own name either.
So, all right. So, into Dover, and as we were talking pre-race, Cush and I will be here for the weekend, so it'll be interesting. Guest of the number 17 RFK of Chris Buescher. So that should be interesting.
Probably something. That will be interesting. You get to have an in-depth look at the 17 and the garage area and seeing all the beauty of Dover, Delaware, as we see from the aerial view, just the massive amount of grandstands. And there, once again, is Miles the Monster. He's sitting just outside of the Turn 4 entrance to the racetrack. And we saw Monday night in the Elite Entertainment Cup Series, he has quite an appetite for race cars. He can send them all over the place. He can send them in the inside wall, the outside wall. He can send them on their side. He can send them upside down. And we saw a lot happen in the exit of Turn 2 and Turn 4. Those corners seem to be the trickiest, and it's because that wall just bounces out and kind of catches you off guard.
You know, I've talked to drivers before about the way this track is designed. In the iRacing setup, you have to make the corner off of 4 and off of 2 to where you're not in the middle coming off, because there's a bump basically when it transitions from the turn into the straightaway that'll upset the car, and that's what we saw a lot. And then if you're not, basically it puts the car up in the air, and you no longer have the ability to track that car, and it's going to go straight up into the wall.
That's where Miles the Monster likes to pounce on his prey. Well, we got a little less than 7 minutes left in our practice session. In case you guys missed last week's race at Auto Club, it was quite a thriller. Had some good racing in the first half and then calmed down in the second half, but still had a little bit of drama right at the very end. Pace car moves way down on pit road. It's going to be Alan Elwood and Travis Beckner leading the field to the green flag, and we're underway from Auto Club. Oh, yeah, they're even running on the apron now. We're looking almost 4 wide on the front stretch here.
And Mason Kane peaking high, decides not to make that move, but they are still 3 wide. It's Colin Fambro, Ed Robertson, and
Oh, there they go. They're making contact. Kane to the wall. Scioli into him as well. Oh, and there's more wrecking in the back. That's going to bring out our first yellow of the night. Oh, they are still wrecking. And then it was heading into Turn 1. Just that slight contact from Ed Robertson there on the bottom into Scioli, into Mason Kane, and then all carnage ensues in front of them. Ryan Swan involved as well, nowhere to go. Then you got some guys spinning and clipping the 7. Now Cameron Hearn up to second, trying to get a run on the top here. Might set him up for the backstretch.
It looks like he's got a good run here, and he's going to peak low on the race leader, Alan Elwood. He did exactly what you said there, Hunter. He set it up in the corner, he ran the top, he got the momentum, and to the lead goes the 67.
He got the most momentum out of that, and now Elwood trying to get a run back, try and cross him over, but can't quite do it. But look at Therian in the back getting a run.
Yeah, these guys are racing all over this racetrack right now, man. It's an exciting thing to watch. Is the 38 now, he's able to clear up on Beckner. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in a row, nose to tail as they enter through Turn 1 and 2. This time around, everybody takes the bottom, Hunter, but coming through 3 and 4, I have a feeling we'll see people taking all different types of line.
Say surprised Beckner didn't run the top that time, but Therian, that run's going to carry him all the way to potentially taking the lead from Cameron Hearn going into 1.
Yeah, I mean, that was an excellent example of how to use the top and just build up as much momentum as possible. Now Hearn's going to do the opposite, and yeah, he's going to fend him off there by running the high line through 1 and 2 that time.
Wait, look at this. We got a pack of 10 cars that are within a second and a half of each other. It's like Monday night. They're pack racing.
Well, this time, Elwood's been taking notes of what the 38's been doing, and he's going to move up and try the top a little bit as well. And it looks like he's actually going to try to diamond that exit off the corner of turn 4. And now he's on the bottom side of the racetrack battling with Theron, but Theron's also got a run on Cameron Hearn. It's about to get interesting in turn 1.
A little bit of touching there between. Somebody gave him the horn. It's a little early for that.
Since we went back green.
Oh, up front, Hearn got a little loose there off of turn 4. Opens up the door for Alan Elwood. Side by side at the stripe, give that lap to Elwood, but here comes the teammates of Shane Theron and the teammate of Hearn, Travis Beckner in the number 28. With identical schemes, by the way. That makes it even easier to tell who's teammates in this top 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got the 2 Toyotas of Elwood and Theron, and then the 2 Fords there of Hearn and Beckner working together as they head down the backstretch. So Elwood grabbed the lead for a moment.
He's going to send it down in the 3, but he's going to get crossed over here by Alan Elwood on the bottom.
And look at the run Shane's going to get here. They're going to be all 3 under a blanket.
Colin Fambrough just got a massive run on the outside. He's going to look past the 28 of Beckner.
Oh, my goodness, man. We're
Right
going to
behind him is Ricky Harden.
We're going to get 76 more laps of this, Hunter. I don't know if we're going to be able to take all the moves we're going to have tonight. Oh, wrecking in the back, it's Ricky Harden in the number 15. And the 18, of Danny Ware, he goes sliding through the grass right behind our top 5.
Going to bring out our second caution of the night. There's Harden on the outside, Beckner on the bottom, and it looks like Harden is going to get a little too much of that front stretch. Clip it. Nowhere to go for Danny Ware. Oh no, and
that was Davey Hendricks.
That just got clipped. That was Hendricks, okay.
And you know, Hunter, I really think here, as we see Theron now go for the lead on Cameron Hearn, I think the difference this season we've seen in the 38, he was, not somebody that was competing for wins, let's say, every race last season. He was a top 5 guy for sure. But now we see him up there battling for wins, and I really think that W at Daytona he was able to get just helped build the confidence for Shane, and now he's out here literally battling for the lead as we speak.
Door-to-door for first, door-to-door for third. Well, the battle for third not quite there yet. Hearn going to shut the door on Theron, go on the apron, come back up, and get lined up for turn 1.
As we see Kyle Knapp now coming down pit road. I just think it's important to be quick with your decision, and really, really important just to get on and off pit road quickly. And how about this, Hunter? Jose Ruiz, he's going to get that lap lead you were talking about.
Yep, and his first ever start in area and in the Lodgebox series. This got to be a good finish regardless. I mean, you led a lap in your first race ever.
Car's clean?
He's had speed. Yeah, car is clean, and looks like he's signaling, hey, I'm going to come down pit road this time.
Yes, he is.
Yep, and it's going to set up for guys like Alan Elwood, Richard Thomas, Garrett Grant, Theron, even Fambrough. With fresher laps on their tires. Oh no! Cameron Hearn into the wall! My goodness, I can't believe what I've just seen. The caution has come out once again, and it's like deja vu all over again for Cameron Hearn. That was him coming off pit road too, so trying to get the tires warmed up, and it just snapped on him right there, and just snapped.
Oh.
That is tough. Tough to watch for the Hearn fan club. Showing it. He's
here it comes. Yeah, he's looking to the top at all. He actually tucks back in. Yeah, tucks back in.
Oh, he's going to have a run on the bottom now. They're going to be side by side for the lead off turn 4. Kyle Knapp on the outside with the emerging Alan Elwood down on the bottom, and no contest there. 49 of Alan Elwood retakes the lead. Fighting claw for that second spot, but that won't matter because the top spot belongs to Alan Elwood. He comes off turn 4. He led the most laps, and he's going to take that checkered flag. Alan Elwood wins that Auto Club.
Heck of a fight through much of that top 10.
That's just a little recap of what you may have missed if you did not tune in last Thursday. The Lodgebox Series went to Auto Club, and they put on one heck of a show. Alan Elwood getting first win on the season, the 4th different driver to win a race this season in season 2 of the Lodgebox series, with Shane Therian winning at Daytona, Cameron Hearn at Phoenix, Ryan Hartz at Bristol Concrete, because the other 2 series raced at Bristol Dirt, and Alan Elwood, as we mentioned before, and just saw moments ago, picking up win number 1 on the season. Could we see a 5th different winner from the Monster Mile? Take a look and see where the drivers are at in the standings. So we did mention that Ryan Hartz won, but he is not playoff eligible because he is not chasing for points in this series. So the other 3 drivers that have won a race are automatically locked in. Shane Therian, Cameron Hearn, Alan Elwood, you see there on the screen, locked in. Richard Thomas, the highest in points without a win, 43 above the cut line. Then we got Fambro, Hendricks, Senesac, Robertson, Grant, Scioli. And then Beckner and Kyle Knapp holding that last spot, 4 points to the good, and the first driver out. 4 points below the cut line is Forrest Smith, and then you got Rick Christensen, Eli Green, Ed Morris Sr. Now, if there's a name that stands out to you on this list, Harold, which or list point standings, which name stands out the most from this?
From the bottom part of the group, or the front?
Oh, from any part.
Well, I say Bryce Sinisak's kind of new to the list. We don't talk about him all that much. And Scioli, I would have thought would be higher. I think he's been having some issues in this series. Putting a string of good races together.
I think the name that stands out to me the most is Richard Thomas. I didn't expect him to be that high in points, or I didn't expect him to be that competitive. No disrespect on him, but he's really showing. Hey, he might not be able to win, but he's been able to show up and put on some really good finishes. We see point standings there, and then we'll switch over really quick to the team standings with Elwood Design Esports leading the way with 347, Bell Weishart in second with 304, then Elite Entertainment with 266, and Transcendent Motorsports at 231. As we see, qualifying has already gotten underway. Ed Robertson currently the fastest on the track. He put down the 23.295. Here is Kyle Knapp coming across the stripe. He's going to put down the 23.428. That's good for 6th quickest. Make that 7th because Shane Therian is just taking over as the fastest man at Dover, and that lap from Kyle Knapp will not count. But Shane Therian fastest with a 23.279. And as Jacob Bell has put in the chat, he's put some points down on Shane Therian to win this race. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you're following and subscribing because subscribers earn more channel points just from watching area iRacing events. So if you're a follower, you get 5 points for every 10 minutes you watch. As a subscriber, you get double that, so 10 points for every 10 minutes you watch. And you can use those channel points to win free merch, such as an Area iRacing sticker, an Area iRacing t-shirt, or a hoodie. But they come in limited quantity, so you want to make sure you get as much points as you can. And one way by doing that is bet your channel points on which driver will win the race. So just type in !bet. And we have a list of drivers here, as the question, once again, is who will win tonight's Lodgebox race at Dover? So you can type in !bet, and you can select from Cameron Hearn. You can just use the last name of the driver. So Hearn, Therian, Thomas, Hendricks, Elwood, Fambro, Scioli, Senesac, Robertson, or you can select anyone that's not on that list under the field category. So looking through here to see what drivers we have for tonight's race. So Jacob Bell has put 50 on Shane Therian. I'm going to go ahead and put some money on, you know what? I'll make this my bet. Richard Thomas, 50 points. He will get his first win of the season tonight. And he's put up the 8th quickest time. I feel like that win's going to come tonight. We saw someone put 75 points on Cameron Hearn. And Want to Go Studios, that's you, Harold. You've also put some channel points on Cameron Hearn.
I think he'll make he won last year here, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He won last year, and at the time, it was the fourth win in a row for that Cameron Hearn machine last season in the Lodgebox series. And Alan Elwood has posted the fastest time with 4 minutes left, 4:20 left in our qualifying session, a 23:203. Quickest so far. Got Danny Ware second with a 23:250. And that's Ed Robertson in the chat saying, "Whoop, I'm not considered field." So you can put some points on Ed Robertson if you want to. And if you want to go ahead and put points on Travis Beckner, he would be listed under field. So 15th quickest for the Fort Myers native on his first lap. Will ride in car for his second lap as he rolls through turns 3 and 4. And will he improve on that second lap? It looks like he will. Yeah,
Barely.
he will.
Just a little bit.
Barely.
A little bit, yeah.
They'll move him up to 8th quickest, 23:363 for that number 28. We got 50 points down on Alan Elwood, and it looks like we got Hoop Racing betting 100 points on James Scioli. Oh, points must be a whole number from 5 to 100. Not sure why it's not allowing that. Looks like you might have to settle for 99.
No, he did it backwards. Coop Racing, you need to do bet Scioli space 100.
Oh, yes. That is what is wrong. Scioli 5th quickest, though. And there we go. He is third time's the charm. He's put the correct amount in and the correct driver in the correct order.
He just woke up. That's a good thing. I wish I just woke up.
So we're looking, still have 4 drivers who have yet to qualify. Those being Christopher Buds in the 13, Ed Moore Sr. in the 14, Mason Kane in the 32, and Rick Christensen in the 19.
It's a little warmer in Dover in the sim than it is actually. Today it was about the high, about 49 to 52, somewhere in that range. A little bit overcast, guys, and right now it's showing 67 overcast and 90 on the track.
I don't know what's going on with the weather because it's almost May and we are still in the 50s. I mean, when is it going to get warmer? When?
I don't know.
We get one day where it's 70 and then it rains and it's 50.
It better not be cold this weekend. It better be warm. I don't want to be cold.
Better not be rain.
Yeah, hey, shush.
I might have jinxed it with that.
All right, all right, yep. A minute 45 left, and we've got 22 drivers signed in, and only 18 with times.
Like Dover will be in the mid 60s for the weekend.
Yep.
See what the weather will look like for today's race. As you mentioned, it is partly cloudy, or not partly cloudy. It's overcast skies. Looking at our weather presented by Lottie'sTravelWorld.com. Overcast skies, air temp 67, track temp 90, 67% humidity with winds from the west, southwest at 3 miles an hour. Now 4. It is ever changing.
Well, you used to say that it never changed when we did the Rick's Hot Sauce League, so.
Oh yeah,
it was like out of the...
it was always from the west at 2 miles an hour.
Right, Coop Races just subscribed on to the Twitch channel.
Well, there you go. Rack up them points.
That's right.
As we mentioned, subscribers get double the points. So if you're subbed, you're going to get double the points. You get 10 instead of 5 for every 10 minutes. Don't think anyone else is going to go out and qualify. So it looks like those 4 that chose not to take a lap will start from the rear, and a safe bet. Although there's really not much places on this track that are safe. Not even the straightaways. The straightaways prove to be a challenge. The straightaways are 9 degrees banking on both sides, and those cars, whenever you get loose and spin down, it is tough to not hit the wall or to avoid as much contact with it as possible because you're just going downhill.
That term that's used a lot of self-cleaning track don't really apply here to Dover because yes, you will slide off of the track, but at the speed in which you come off the track, you usually get spit right back up to the outside wall.
Yeah, Miles does not play kindly at this facility. 1 mile oval. Got 150 laps slated for us here tonight, 150 miles. And we got your lineup here for tonight's race. So on the pole, it's Alan Elwood and Danny Ware is going to start second. Row 2 going to be Shane Therian and Ed Robertson. Row 3, James Scioli and Cameron Hearn. Row 4, Davey Hendricks and Colin Fambro. Row 5, Travis Beckner and Richard Thomas.
And row number 6 is Rice Sinasak and Mr. Coop. And Knapp and Hazard are in row number 7. Row 8, Forrest Smith and Martin. And Adam Capps and Garrett Grant are in row number 9. Row 10 is Kane and Christensen.
In the last two, Ed Morris Sr. and Christopher Butts. Those last 4 drivers did not qualify. They will all 4 will be starting from the rear. And that is our 22 car field for tonight's event. See the cars rolling off pit road in a neat fashion from a neat camera angle. So it looks like we both know who we're going with. I'm going to go with Richard Thomas as my pick. I already put in the chat. And Harold, you're going to go with Cameron Hearn.
Yep. And trying to remember what Jake put in.
He put, I believe, Scioli?
No, it wasn't Sky. I don't think it was Scioli. Let me go back up and look because I know he did.
Oh, Therian.
That's right, Shane Therian. Yep.
Dion Therian. Well, last week, Alan Elwood won at Auto Club, and no one bet on him. Well, we got at least one person that has put channel points on Elwood. As the pace car pulls into pit road, it's going to be Alan Elwood and Danny Ware on the front row, leading the field to the green flag. 150 laps here from the Monster Mile, and we are underway at Dover. Leading lap number 1 is Alan Elwood. Everybody is single file for the most part. Got a couple cars peeking their nose out, trying to get some air. This is a view that everyone wants to see from Alan Elwood's perspective.
You see the cars abruptly get almost like a ramp coming off the corner in 2 and 4. Ed Robertson fastest at the moment.
Yeah, Robertson P5, but you mentioned the exit of turns 2 and turn 4. It's got that bump, that sort of ramp, if you will, like you mentioned. It's abnormal, something that we do not see typically at most racetracks. Now Cameron Hearn with the fastest lap, sitting in the 6th spot. Now we got a battle for 3rd going down. Scioli on the bottom, Therian on the outside. They're side by side for that position. Oh, it's always tight here. But typically that outside line through the corner exit will help you. Scioli trying to get all he can.
Somebody's trying to crash the party. There's Cameron Hearn. Fastest on the racetrack.
Again. A little loose there that time for the 7 of Scioli. See Cameron Hearn lurking in the back, and it looks like Scioli will complete the pass on Shane Therian, but now Therian going to try and cross him over down into turn 3, door to door for that spot. Well, you do not want to see the car on the bottom get loose, because then it wipes out both himself and the car on the outside, and then those in the back have nowhere to go. Cameron Hearn looking to have a decent finish here. So the past couple of weeks have been rough for him. Lap traffic has gotten in the way of him winning at Auto Club. Oh, we got someone loose in the back near the inside wall. Looks like that is Christopher Buds, or might be the 5 of Garrett Graham. Someone got really loose down there. It was a white car. Not sure where that was. It might have been... That's who it was. It was Jordan Martin in the 77. I almost said Jake, but I'm like, Jake is not racing. That is just the paint scheme that Jordan Martin is running for that 77 car. But like we were talking about, Cameron Hearn has had a rough couple of weeks here in the Lodgebox Series. Lap traffic plaguing his finishes. He had a chance to win last week at Auto Club and had a decent run at Bristol. A lap traffic on the way of both of those. And he's running in 5th, and he's looking to have a solid finish tonight. Scioli has his eyes set on 18 of Danny Ware. He's currently half a second back from race leader Alan Elwood, picking up right where he left off. Here, the 54 of Colin Fambro, tilting down a little below, Travis Beckner in the 28. Oh, Beckner's leaving a little too much room there on the bottom. Leading car from Fambro in the 54. Battle for second really heating up. Scioli under the 18 of Danny Ware going into turn 1. It'll take the spot. And now Theory's going to take over third from Danny Ware. He might have gone into the wall. He just lost 3 spots there. Well, he was half a second back from the race leader. Now he's almost 2 seconds back. So something to miss there that last time around for the 18 of Danny Ware, and it's allowed Scioli, Therian, and Hearn all to move up 1 spot. Now Ed Robertson on the bumper of the 18, looking to get that 5th spot from him. Side by side towards the back. Robertson, oh so close to that bumper of Danny Ware. Rolling through 3 and 4 and now down into 1 and 2. Here the throttle rolling in at the right time for that 64. Up in front, you just saw Cameron Hearn peeking his nose down to the bottom. Trying to get some clean air. Last season, Cameron Hearn dominated in the Lodgebox Series, but he did not dominate this track last time we were here. David Whitestar wound up leading the most laps. He is not in the race tonight. One driver that is looking to lead the most laps is our race leader, Alan Elwood. The gap now just a smudge under a second between he and James Scioli. Scioli slowly starting to reel in our leader. Last time by, he was a 10th quicker on the racetrack. They were almost 20 laps in now, and this is the part of the race where we will start to see some of those that are under the comers and goers category. Some that are using their stuff up a little too early, and then some that are saving their tires for the longer run.
Looking through the timing sheet, the most gain and loss is 3 positions. Thought we'd see a whole lot more movement than that.
I want to get settled in early, develop a rhythm, and then work their way through the field as the run goes on. These guys do have 3 sets of tires, but fuel really won't be that much of an issue. We're looking at 65 to 70 laps on fuel. So fuel will not be an issue for these guys. If they can stretch it far enough, they might be able to do it on one stop. It's just tires that's going to be more of an important factor. Towards the back here. Forrest Smith in the 84. Back up front. That's Davey Hendricks in the 94, right behind the 18 of Danny Ware. So Ed Robertson lost the spot and is now down in 7th. So a new challenger for that 5th position as Davey Hendricks looks to put the pressure to Danny Ware. When Robertson scraping the wall that time by. There's Kyle Knapp running in the 11th spot. There seems to be a one groove track down on the bottom. Was going to ask if anyone who had anything for the outside lane, because we typically see that in real life. We see the middle or the upper groove being used in, but it's mostly a bottom groove racetrack. And if you leave too much bottom open for the car behind, they're going to try and get their nose down in there.
I'd see this start to migrate to the top side later as the run goes longer. The dynamic aspect that iRacing has in the racetrack as rubber gets laid down. Last time I was at Dover, we watched Kevin Harvick almost rode the wall the entire way around, led most of the laps that day, and that's when Chase Elliott won his first race. His first oval, I believe. That's how long it's been since I've been here.
Remember that, and I remember the caution coming out, and then I immediately said, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott comes down pits and wins, and that's exactly what happened. And he wound up getting that victory at Dover. We'll have to see what happens on Sunday, because last time they were here, they had a 1-2-3-4 finish for Hendrick Motorsports, the first of any kind for any team since 2009. So a historical day at that juncture and for that team.
Be interesting the package they're bringing to, I believe it's the short track car, if I'm not mistaken, right?
From what I know, every track they go to will be 670 except for super speedway racing. That's less than 500 horsepower, the super speedway packages. But every other track, it is 670 horsepower.
Clean slate, though. Nobody has any data on Dover with the new cars, so.
Yep, should be an exciting one if you guys are not.
Hey, don't talk about that W stuff. No.
I'll say if you guys are not down at Dover and haven't been to the track, I would probably pick this weekend to go. Especially like Harold said, no one's got any clue how to run this track with the next-gen car. So make sure you go in or tune in at the very least. Watch this race there. Just like we're watching the race here. 31 laps complete of 150 for the Dover 150 in race number 5 of the Lodgebox series. It's been all Alan Elwood leading all 31 laps. We're looking towards the back here. Got the little side-by-side action. Garrett Grant in the 5, going past Carter Coop in the 52 for that 15th position, with Jordan Martin right behind. The 18 of Danny Ware holding on to that 5th spot. Still not sure. He might have gone looser, might have scraped the wall a little bit, but he lost 3 spots down a straightaway and in turn 1 and 2. But since then, he's been able to hold his own in that 5th spot. Not really a whole lot of passing going on inside the top 10. But Scioli has definitely broken away from third place car Shane Therian by about a second and a half.
About biggest mover so far, Rick Christensen has moved up 5 spots, looking to take over Rich Thomas there.
Christensen was one of the cars that did not choose to qualify. So he's working his way from the back to the front, and he's currently in the 13th spot, so now he's up 6 spots since the drop of the green flag. As yes, that is lap traffic that you see just in front of our leader, Alan Elwood. The first car in danger of going a lap down is Ed Morris Sr. Then we got Christopher Buds and Forrest Smith. Boy, Forrest Smith is dropping like a rock down into the 19th spot. Lap traffic staying out of the way of the leader, trying to dictate where he might go. So it looks like they're going to stay on the outside as Elwood closes in on those guys. Now they're going to give him the outside, and they will take the bottom. So that's actually Ed Morris Sr. on the bottom and Christopher Buds on the outside. So Elwood slicing and dicing his way through. It's actually that car just in front of him, that was Forrest Smith, made contact with the wall. He's down on the apron in turn 3. He made pretty significant contact with that wall. We saw sparks fly from the gopher shot over in turn 2. Down Elwood now has a clean track in front of him once again and a clear view. James Scioli now looks to get his way around those 2 lap cars of Ed Morris Sr. and Christopher Buds. Before Smith has made his way down to pit road, and no caution came out for that incident, so we are still going here at Dover. 40 laps already complete. It feels like a speedway track with the long straights and the high bank corners, but it is only a mile long, so these lap times, they're running 23, 24, 25-second lap times, so they go quick here.
Very fast racetrack. It's that bowl. We were talking about the high banking all the way around the racetrack, so the speeds stay up pretty well. They just got to come off the gas to take the corner, but they're really not braking and they're not shifting. I've heard some people shift with the new car, though. Usually with the 4-gear car last season for the Cup cars, they weren't shifting. This season, I believe they're saying, when we talked to drivers on Monday night, that they were saying that some of them were shifting as well, out of 5th into 4th.
And that's new with the Cup car. The traditional H pattern is no more for the next gen. It's a sequential shifter, so it has 5 gears now. And we saw a little bit of that at Martinsville, and they're already working at figuring a way for drivers not to shift, because there's no need for cars to be shifting at all at Martinsville. So if they're going to shift there, they're most likely going to shift at Dover, and seems like we had some drivers do that Monday night.
They were Martinsville. They were shifting in the next gen car. Like Gen 6, when it first came out, they were shifting at Pocono. But I guess it all depends on the gear ratios that the cars are having. There is advantage to letting the car blow itself up by changing your gear. Keep that high RPM. Be interesting
Looking
to see what
through
they do
and
with the Aston.
yeah. Forrest Smith has disconnected from the night, so that contact he made with the turn 2 wall was significant enough to force him into an early exit from tonight's race. As you look back here, got the 28 of Travis Beckner and the 09 of Bryce Senesac looking to go at it for the 9th spot. Beckner trying to hold on to that 9th spot from the 09, challenging from behind. We get a view from the back end of the 28. They go around the lap car of Christopher Buds. Travis Beckner was having a solid run in the first half of last week's race at Auto Club until slight damage on the right side. That is Cameron Hearn coming down making an early pit stop. He was also having a good run as well last week at Auto Club with Travis Beckner. Those two were up front battling between themselves and Alan Elwood and Shane Therian for the first half of the race, and then one by one, each had their own issue. Beckner made slight contact with the outside wall and had a little bit of damage on the right front. We saw the cowl flap was a little damaged there, and the damage was too much for him at a track like Auto Club where aerodynamics are important. But Cameron Hearn coming down for an early pit stop. So he will most likely have to come down and pit for fuel once again. The question is,
could be breaking it in the third.
Early?
He could have broken in thirds because of his tires.
Yeah.
Short pitting basically. And I see some other guys coming down now. Jordan Martin coming in.
Yeah, Jordan Martin down pit road as well. Now, this is another tricky track where you have to safely enter pit road.
And get down to 35 miles an hour.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen drivers spin out coming on the pit road into the barrels, into the sand pit, into the tires, into whatever Matt Kenseth hit back in 2004 and got his car stuck on top of the wall. But yeah, it is one of those tracks where you need to be able to get down onto pit road safely because the bottom groove is the preferred groove for now. We are starting to see some more cars migrate towards that top, but got to get on there safe somehow. And we just saw right in front of Alan Elwood, it's like that machine belongs to
Senesac.
Bryce Senesac. Yep. So he comes down, makes a pit stop.
Like Adam Capps down as well. So we've begun green flag pit stops. Something we have not seen much this season.
It looks like Elwood's going to come down and join in the fray as well.
Yeah, he can't be the only one out there. That's not good. He knows what that feeling's like. Cameron Hearn, fastest lap. New tires, that's what it'll help you with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And leading a lap will help Scioli as well. That is a bonus point. If you lead a lap, that is one bonus point, and that will certainly help Scioli in the points. It looks like he's going to go another lap around. At the very least, he might stay out. He might come down next time by. We have all different kinds of strategy here, and it looks like the 18 of Danny Ware has also made his way down pit road. But Harold, these guys looking like they're splitting it into thirds, and they do have the tires to do that.
Yep. Taking full advantage of a fuel run. I think these guys saw how the green flag laps were ticking away. Said, "Hey, let's." They've done this before with a no caution race, so I think the guys made the call. Like, hey, we need to break this into thirds if this thing goes the distance.
Scioli working that bottom, and then you see Adam Capps right behind with the fresher tires, so it's a role reversal. The lead lap car, or the leader, moving out of the way of the lap car because the lap car has fresher tires.
And they're down a couple laps, those that have pitted already. Anywhere around him as well. Richard Thomas down pit lane.
I think it'll be a handful of guys that are going to bite it on the chin, stay out till about probably halfway and try to make this a one-stop race.
Yep. I mean, we'll see how that works out. How fast these other guys can get around them. Because, you know, like Hearn and company are a lap down to the race leader. Cameron Hearn's the first car a lap down that has gone through the pits. And showing him he's eating into that time fairly quickly. I can't even look at it how fast he's cutting into it.
He's just that fast.
Yeah.
We see Rick Christensen now on the pit road. So James Skyley, Shane Therian, Ed Robertson, Colin Fambro, Travis Beckner, Garrett Grant, Carter Koop have all stayed out. Cameron Hearn has pitted. Ed Morris Sr. has also not pitted as well. So first through seventh and then ninth place on the track have yet to make a pit stop since the drop of the green flag.
Ed Morris now back to 10th.
She comes out now, this whole thing turns cuckoo.
Mm-hmm.
Coop is the next driver looking at possibly going a lap down. So there is Cameron Hearn, the first car one lap down. So if the yellow comes out now, this would benefit him.
Not that far from the race leader. The race leader's about a straightaway ahead of him. He can race his way back onto the lead lap.
And James Skyley that time by 25.201. Cameron Hearn 23.9. Actually, it just updated. 25.1 for Skyley and 24.05 for Cameron Hearn. But nonetheless, it's still 1 second faster a lap for Cameron Hearn on the fresher tires.
Pretty significant amount at 1 second here.
Oh, yeah. It always shows up more on the short track.
We're really putting them down. We're getting close to that halfway mark already.
They go quick here at the short tracks.
But they're all giving them each other a lot of room. Caution.
Oh, there we go. Now we got this race going cuckoo. Like I said, only 6 drivers on the lead lap. And it looks like it might have been Travis Beckner. Number 28 car right here. We'll take a look at our one-to-go replay and look at exactly what brought out our first caution of the night. There you see Beckner allowing the 19 of Rick Christensen to go by. Could this be him trying to get onto pit road? Oh. What is that? Is that
27?
Kyle Knapp?
That's Kyle Knapp, but I don't know if they actually make contact. Is really close.
So we'd have to see. It did look close.
Oh, that's the 28 I'm on. That's why I'm having issues seeing it. So let's go back. There we go. I wanted to see from Knapp's view. There we go.
Close. I don't believe they touch. It's very close. You can fit a piece of paper in between it. We got a close up here and see if the right front Kyle Knapp made contact with the left rear quarter panel of Travis Beckner. I don't think it did. It is so close as to whether the two made contact or not, but no, there is space in between that. Like I said, you can fit a piece of paper in between it. That's how close it is, folks.
That could be that code thing they talk about a lot.
Yeah, net code could be that as well. But nonetheless, the 28 went sideways and into the wall. And while that was going down, pit stops for those that have not yet pitted, and this benefits them because they all stay on the lead lap. Cameron Hearn will get his lap back as he was the free pass car, and everybody else looking to get the wave around. So this really shakes things up if you're James Scarley, Shane Theron, even Carter Coop. Carter Coop was about to go a lap down, and now he finds himself running in third. Oh, as soon as I say that, he's in pit road, so never mind.
A lot of drivers coming down here. Carter Coop as well. But that means everybody will have pitted at the end of this here. Carter Coop was the one that stayed out, I guess, trying to get around. Beckner, Morris, everybody down pit lane that had not taken tires yet. But like you said, Hearn was good about Hearn here is he'll get the wave around, but he'll be in the back of all these guys, so he might as well go down pit lane and top off.
There is Kyle Knapp on the bottom. I don't know if our admin tonight is Jacob Bell because our other two admins.
Actually, we have Aaron McNeil as well, also up there with them, and Kyle Knapp Sr. was given the EOL penalty.
All right. So the EOL was given to the 27 and Knapp. We're under caution here. Lap 67 to 150 for Knights Dover 150, presented by Elite Entertainment. We would like to thank Elite Entertainment for their support of the Elite Entertainment Cup Series and from all of us here at Area. Be sure to check out Elite Entertainment on Facebook to book them and possibly DJ your next event. James Skyley still leading as now we see the cars getting the wave around.
That's interesting to me, though, how Cameron Hearn was not given the wave early. He got the wave with everybody else getting waved around the pace car.
See Ryan Hart's in the chat. I should have raced. I dislike myself. I mean, I was looking through and kind of shocked to not see Ryan Hart's in the lobby as well, especially with how good he is on the short tracks. But nonetheless, still left his mark earlier this season by winning at Bristol in the Lodgebox series. The only non-full-time or non-points going driver. So the field works their way around turns 3 and 4. Pace car going to pull down the pit road. It's going to be James Scioli on the inside, Shane Theron on the outside, leading things down. And you just see the massive jump that the 7 got. And he switched lanes. He went to the outside. I don't think that'll fly. Or it shouldn't.
We did see Monday night that cost the driver a win. As Colin Fambrough dives down to the apron and gets out of the way.
Say the restart, if you're the leader on the bottom, it benefits you so much because you get that big of a jump. But I mean, that was a huge jump that the 7 got, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just moving up to the outside lane. See what our admins call. Scioli currently is the leader with a 4-car length lead over Shane Theron. Colin Fambrough now getting around Garrett Grant for the 4th spot.
Big differences in the after 4th, you got about a 3-second gap now. Jacob Bell issuing a black flag to Christopher Buds. Not sure why. Maybe he'll let us know, but just keeping an eye on that.
Christopher Buds given a black flag. Nothing yet on the 7 of Scioli, so it seems like that was deemed okay. Scioli leading now with a half-second lead over Shane Therian. Got to move back here. Cameron Hearn and Carter Koop. So there's Cameron Hearn right there. Got Alan Elwood behind him, so it's actually the battle for fifth. That's a lap car in front of the 67. I believe that is Ed Morris Sr. Christopher Buds is in the pits, serving the black flag. Side-by-side action going on towards the back. Really close here. That's Davey Hendricks in the 94. Bryce Senesac in the 09. There's Buds coming out of the pits on the apron there. And just like that, we have crossed into the halfway portion of our event, which is brought to you by Swift Lifestyles. Fans, be sure to visit our sponsor, Swift Lifestyles, for clean supplements that can help improve your focus in gaming. Use the discount code on your screen, Area iRacing, AREA iRacing, for 15% off your entire order. We would once again like to give a big thanks to Swift Lifestyles for their continuous support of Area iRacing. Get up here with the leader, James Scioli. He's caught a good break with that caution coming out in the midst of a handful or so of drivers pitting, trying to split it into thirds. And the caution came out, and it benefited him the most because he got to come down and pit. So we move back here. He continues to lead. Battle for second between Colin Fambro and Shane Therian. Colin Fambro was having a solid run last week at Auto Club, having a solid top 10 run here tonight. So he goes around our third place driver now, Shane Therian, for that second spot. Therian has led 3 laps. He also had a very, very solid run with a second place finish at Auto Club last weekend, picking up right where he left off. Currently running in the third spot. Garrett Grant was the driver that actually finished third at Auto Club. It's actually our race leader, James Scioli, is now moving down pit road. So Garrett Grant back where he finished last week, third place at Auto Club, and he's running third place right now at Dover.
Guess what happened on James Scioli? Race control caught up.
Oh.
So black
There
flag
we go.
for lane
And
violation. So
it is for that lane violation that we saw him get, but now we go back to fourth place, Cameron Hearn now. Cameron Hearn had a solid car the last couple of weeks, but the finishes just have not been there, and he falls back to fifth now, losing the spot to last week's winner, Alan Elwood, leading the most laps at Auto Club and getting the job done. And he led 51 laps so far in tonight's race, but he chose to pit, split the race into thirds, and then the caution came out, and now he's trying to work his way back up to the lead, where he finds himself fourth at the moment. Carter Koop, that caution was a big break for him. He was about to go a lap down. Then the caution came out, and he wound up pitting, and now he's running inside the top 10, P6 at the moment. That Robertson again up high. He was running close to the top 10, but now he falls back, and now Danny Ware. Boy, Danny Ware has gone to the back throughout this race. He was running second at one point, but we got drivers going all over the place right here. Stay in your spots, please. Well, Danny Ware now finds himself sixth, and now seventh is Davey Hendricks. And now the two are about to battle, but both of which are having solid runs. And then Bryce Senesac running in the 10th spot in that 09 car, looking for a solid run there. And that was your chaotic top 10 rundown presented by Swift Lifestyles. I don't think it's ever been that hectic. We had the leader pit.
Daytona.
We've had multiple drivers. Oh, at Daytona.
We're at a super speedway. We would have having problems with that, but not much here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the admins came across, said the Buds and Scioli were black flag for lane changes, which I believe that's a stop and go penalty. That's why they had to go down pit lane.
Oh, now we actually had a battle for the lead while we were doing our rundown and had all sorts of chaos go on behind the battle for the lead. Colin Fambro finds himself running this joint at Dover. He's got a 4-car length gap over Shane Therian now.
And that group that was breaking this into thirds is about 15 laps away from coming back down again.
They could do that. Although I think if you're a lap down, do you stick to the strategy or do you just try to get back on the lead lap as quick as possible?
I'm talking about like Elwood and Hearn, those Hendricks, those guys all were on that third style here because they're basically everybody around 18 to 20 was the ones that just pitted on that last caution.
Well, now the 38 of Therian has reeled back in the 54 of Colin Fambro.
Battling here in the corner.
Yeah, but really spread out throughout the rest of the field. You got to go back 3 seconds to find third place driver Gary Grant.
This tells me these guys are pacing more than the rest of the field is trying to do. These guys are getting everything that the car will give them where that is, and the other guys there are trying to work strategy and save something for a little later.
Could we potentially see these guys come in and pit at around lap 100? Now we see them battling for the lead. Therian going to go take over as race leader. We'll see if the 54 of Colin Fambro is going to try and cross him over. He's going to stay behind him.
Not sure what these guys are going to do. I think the group where Grant and Coop, Ed Robertson, that group there, I think they're going to try to stretch it to the end.
Intriguing. That is another possibility that could happen.
Which is why they're so far back. That's the only thing I can think of. That
Cameron Hearn's pitted.
Well, that's about where he was at. Just he short pitted just a few, but he can go to the end at 60 laps. He can go all the way now.
Oh, yeah. Anyone that pits now is good to go on fuel to the very end. It's just a tire strategy at this point. Do you want to risk pitting and using another set of tires? And looks like Danny Ware is going to do the same as well. Both of those guys going to come down and pit. Meanwhile, Shane Therian has checked out from Colin Fambro, and he has now gapped him by over 1 second.
Be interesting. A lot of different strategies in play right now. Because that, like you said, that caution really kind of mixed them up a little bit. Like you said, all heck would break loose, right? What you said?
Oh, yeah. If caution came out, it would get cuckoo, and it definitely went cuckoo. So we're looking through Joe Hasser, not Scott Hasser. Joe Hasser would be the free pass car if a yellow were to come out right now. Only 8 drivers on the lead lap, with Bryce Senesac being the last of those 8. 13, now 14 seconds back from race leader Shane Therian.
I think it's a little deceptive because I think if a caution came out now, all the leaders would pit and put everybody back, and that whole, like, that are 1 lap down will be in the tail end of the lead lap is what'll happen. The guys like Danny Weir, Cameron Hearn, Adam Capps that are 2 laps down, that would be a little bit of an issue for them. They need to get around the race leader here. That's Cameron Hearn, you can see behind Therian. Or is that actually Colin Fambro that's behind in there?
It might be.
We got Hearn here coming down the front stretch at this point, and Shane Therian is in turn 2. So he's about a half a track ahead of Hearn at this point.
Off topic, but I just saw a notification go through my phone as I was looking through scoring. The Sixers have won their series against Toronto. 4-2 was the games won by the Sixers. So Sixers in 6, as I have always said and always will say. Just want to give a little shout out there. Shane Theory continuing to lead. 2 seconds now is the gap between he and Colin Fambro. And Harold, just like that, we've got almost 50 laps left to go.
Yeah, I know. Moving, as they say, marching through the laps. Found it interesting looking at the schedule for this weekend. The Xfinity Series starts at 1:30 on Saturday, and they've elected to move the longer race on Sunday to 3 o'clock.
Something that we have been accustomed to seeing. Now, Davey Hendricks has made his way down to pit road. And now we have officially crossed into the 50 laps to go mark as we see Cameron Hearn getting around the race leader, Shane Theory, with the fresher tires. These last 50 laps are brought to you by CNC Logging. We'd like to thank CNC Logging for their support of the CNC Logging Truck Series this season and area. Located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina, CNC Logging is your place to go for any of your logging needs. Got wood, big or small, summer or fall, we'll cut your log, guaranteed. CNC Logging. You just saw the CNC Logging machine of Cameron Hearn go around a race leader, Shane Theory, getting his lap back. Garrett Grant, Bryce Senesac, still on pit road. Garrett Grant's actually made his way onto pit road. Oh, we got a spin. Was that a spin? Or is that the wall? I looked up so quick it looked like a car spun, but I guess it was just things I must have seen. My eyes deceive me. Wow.
We got people down on pit lane.
I do see that. I apologize for that. I don't know why. It looked like a car spun, but it was just how white the wall is, I guess.
Cameron Hearn came through pit lane. Not sure what happened there.
We might have to take a look at that. There's something amiss with that 67 car. Maybe it was him that maybe he did spin out. So this was just a couple moments ago. Huh, that is odd.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my eyes do not deceive me.
It was Cameron Hearn.
Cameron Hearn. Okay. I thought I was going cuckoo for a second, but
wow. And
that did not trigger a caution. Wow.
No, but again, Cameron Hearn caught up in something else again.
The third straight week in a row. It is unreal that it just keeps following him no matter where we go. And we go to Kansas next week. So I'm there's a twister, Dorothy. There's a twister. So I don't know what's going to happen there if this trend continues. Hopefully it doesn't. I mean, that's bad luck. 3 times in a row. Once, okay, is odd. Twice is a coincidence. 3 times, that's just bad luck. And that is what Cameron Hearn has. But in the midst of all that, Shane Theory made his way onto pit road. Colin Fambro's leading. We only have 3 cars on the lead lap. Miles is playing mind games with everyone, getting in their head.
Cameron Hearn is disconnected. That's vocal as he leaves and upset about how he was tossed to the side yet again. I don't blame him. I'd be not happy either.
Oh no, I would be irate as well. It just keeps following him no matter where he goes. That is just unfortunate. Well, we hope things get better for him at Kansas next week. We can only hope. So Colin Fambro is now pitted. Scioli is back on the lead lap, but I don't think he made a pit stop. The only time he came down pit road was to serve that black flag. Yep, he's got 40 laps on his tires. So Ed Robertson finds himself in control of the race with Carter Coop sitting 6 seconds behind.
Last time Scioli was down pit lane, he actually did a service.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm showing 14.1 seconds in his box. That's not a stop and go.
It might have been a pass through then that he had, because he did come down pit road.
But it said he stopped in his box at 14.1. If it was a pass and go, it would have been like Christopher Budd's, where you see there's a 0 after the 33 seconds in the lane. Interesting. Had to look it up, but that's a 4-tire change at 14 seconds.
Okay, that is interesting. Now imagine if a caution comes out here. That would be even more.
Are you willing cautions onto the drivers again?
I'm not willing onto the drivers. I'm just saying it would. This would get even more cuckoo if another yellow came out, because this happened last time we had drivers come down pit road and switch up strategies.
Yep. Leading in to the commentators' curse. Don't do that. So, a lot of people put money on Hearn or channel points on Hearn. Not going to be today paying off.
No, but if it makes them feel any better, I put my points on Richard Thomas, and he is also not having a good night. He's currently 19th, 5 laps down, the last car in the race. Had 2 drivers, actually 3 drivers out, with one of them not even making it to the starting grid. That was Mason Kane. Forrest Smith had an early exit after contact with the outside wall in turn 2. And then Cameron Hearn with that run-in with a lap car getting in his way, or getting in contact with another lap car. 3rd week in a row with disconnect. And Carter Coop has made his way onto pit road, so now only 2 cars on the lead lap, and Ed Robertson, I don't know how many times this has happened in area history. He might be the first driver to lead a race where everyone is 1 lap down. He could do it.
Tieren's right there behind him trying to get his lap back, though. And he's going to just
Never mind.
blow right by him.
He heard what I said and just said, all right, now what? There's 3 of us on the lead lap now. There went that theory out the window.
35 laps to go. Scioli's almost an entire lap behind, and we know Thierian is. So 19 seconds is the gap between Robinson and Scioli. Last lap, there is about 0.2 is the difference. Not going to be enough time to make that up. So if Robertson could play the fuel all the way to the end and not have much more fall off, he can end up coming into victory lane here at Dover.
That would be 82 laps that Robertson would do on a fuel run. That would be impressive if he were able to accomplish that. Right behind him there, you see Alan Elwood, 4th place car, looking to get his lap back. Shane Thierian now closing in on 2nd place driver James Scioli. Rapidly, too.
I'll have a drive between Scioli and Thierian getting closer to one another here. As you see there, 0.8 between the 2 of them. It'll be the battle for 2nd. Starting to get into lap traffic here. That's Travis Beckner. He's got no front clip on that car.
Beckner going with the modified look, almost 50% of the way complete. Just got to get the hood off and he got a modified. Will say I do miss seeing the modifieds go out after being involved in a big wreck. Come back out for a few laps. It's always good to see that. Got Joe Hazard on pit road. Rick Christensen on pit road as well. Actually, he's off pit road. Richard Thomas, Christopher Buds on pit road as well. I think Buds has been in for
tires, fuel and tires for Christopher Budd, 6 laps down. Thomas on there as well. Shane Thierian, that was Mr. Bell's pick prior to the race, where he jumped up to the admin tower, number 38. starting to eat into the lead of Mr. Robertson. He's 17 seconds is the difference, and he's almost a second quicker. So this might be a battle between Robertson and Therian at the end here if Robertson has enough fuel to get to the distance.
All right, so it's a 16-second gap now between Ed Robertson and Shane Therian. Seems like the longer Ed stays out now, the worse it might look for him because Therian is running him down quick.
28 laps and a second a lap is what we're losing here. And lap time is 25, so it'll be right about the time. It'll be within like 5 to go when he gets there. But just like everywhere else, it's one thing to catch, another thing to pass.
Oh, absolutely. The thing that I'm noticing though is we see the lap car getting out of the way there. It is overcast. The track is covered by clouds. Is that going to help Ed Robertson with tire wear?
It definitely will. The cooler track will help him. But, you know, if he's been conserving tires, which I believe he was the whole time, and conserving fuel more than the tires, this is a rhythm track. So, you know, back the corner up a little bit, and you should be fine.
Well, this is going to get spicy here. We got drivers that are a lap down playing as the role of the leaders, and Ed Robertson playing as the role of the lap car because he has yet to pit. Everybody else behind him has pitted, and they're all looking to get their laps back.
He'll just give them a lane to go by him. He's not going to fight him because this actually hurts him if he fights him because it'll make him go even slower. He's going to take that high line.
Going to get tight, always tight when you got side-by-side action in the corners at Dover. Now Garrett Grant going to go to the inside. Richard Thomas to the inside as well, looking to get one of his laps back. And they safely navigate their way around the race leader. Now we got 24 laps to go here from Dover. The Dover 150, race 5 of the Lodgebox Series, season 2. A race where we've only had one incident that brought out a caution, and that was Travis Beckner getting loose and spinning. Well, he had a little help from Kyle Knapp because Knapp was given the EOL for that incident. Got loose, got hit, spun into the outside wall, hard hit. That was our only caution. We almost had another caution for Cameron Hearn in the incident with the lap car spinning on the front stretch, hitting the inside wall. No yellow came out, and he disconnected from that. Forrest Smith has also disconnected after making significant contact with the right front.
We're getting kind of loose coming off. There's a 64. Got to keep it going, pointed down range there. Mr. Ed, you got to keep that car pointed forward. Shane Therian now 10-9 back.
Ed Robertson coming off Auto Club with a win in the Elite Entertainment Cup Series, and he's looking to pick up a win and be the 5th different winner in the Lodgebox Series this year.
Be one heck of a season for Mr. Robertson in that 64 early in season 2. Under 20 laps to go now.
Yep, and the gap now under 10 seconds between Therian and Robertson. Seems like it's going to come down between those two as the laps begin to dwindle.
Shane was only 0.6 seconds faster that lap. If Ed can keep that kind of an interval between the two of them per lap, it'll be looking pretty good towards the end of this thing. Maybe not even be a fight. I think Therian is just having an issue with lap traffic, and that's slowing him up.
Yeah, it will come down to the wire here.
18 laps.
also got to wonder, will fuel become a factor? Can Ed Robertson make it to the end with the current fuel run he's got?
He's made his bed. Now he's going to lie in it.
The Cameron Hearn fan club believes that Ed can stretch the fuel. Not a good couple of weeks or so for that fan club, but hoping for better things next week at Kansas. Right now, Ed Robertson, 8-second gap between he and Shane Therian.
He's right there on the back deck of Danny Ware. Working, Danny. Teammates, actually, right? Both from Elwood Designs.
Who did you say that was? Danny Ware?
Danny Ware. No, Danny Ware is in front of him. That's Elwood. And then the 64 on the, let me double check here. 60, no, he's got an Elwood paint scheme, so they may be an affiliate. He's not on the
It
team.
might be an affiliate.
That's right. We were talking about last time. Yeah, he's affiliated with, but not, you know.
We see 15 laps to go now. The gap at 7 seconds. Man, it is certainly going to come down to the wire. It might come down to the last lap, last corner. We have seen that happen in the past, not only at this track, but also at plenty of other tracks we've been to on the area iRacing calendar.
We're looking at the speed differential. Last lap, 0.2, not enough. He's got to get faster. Shane's gonna have to get around the lap track faster. Actually, this last lap he got slower than Robertson. 7 seconds, still the gap.
Yeah, at some point the tires do even out, and it looks like that's what we're starting to see with Shane Therian as we continue to close down the laps here at Dover.
We got a battle, it looks like, between Scioli and Elwood here for the fourth and fifth spot.
Yeah, Elwood holding on to that fourth spot for the moment. Boy, these guys would like to see a caution so they can get back into the mix of it for the win. I don't know if I think Robertson might clinch most laps led. I know Elwood's at 51. I don't know how close the next guy is. Oh, no, he won't get it. So it looks like it might go to Alan Elwood, or Scioli's led a good bit of laps too. It's going to be either one of those two. So 51 for Elwood, and then Scioli, how much does he have? 23. Oh, not as much as I thought.
Alan Elwood is going to have that wrapped up.
Huh.
10 laps to go here as we cross the line. And Theron does not have enough muscle in that car to get to Ed. So if Ed can finish on fuel, he's going to end up having this thing in the bag, working the strategy to the T with that perfect pit strategy call from the crew chief of the 64 ride.
Yeah, something's got to give if Shane Therian wants to win, whether that be a lap traffic incident or fuel running out on the 64. Although Ed's got plenty of gap to where he can save more in the turns, especially knowing that Therian, his car is slowing up, the tires becoming more and more worn out from the surface. That gap looks like it's stagnant. Gap now at 5 seconds between Therian and Robertson. The 77 of Jordan Martin going to go below our race leader, get one of his laps back. Jordan Martin running in the 16th spot now, 3 laps down. So 6 laps to go now. There'll be 5 to go when they cross the stripe next time by. And it looks like Shane Theron is going to have to do the impossible and pick up 1 second a lap
We'd
for
need
these
more
next
than
5
that.
laps. And then some. Yeah, a second and some change.
He'll need more than that. So if Ed can make the distance, Ed has this wrapped up. He just got to keep the car clean and away from other people.
It seems like it. 5 to go now at Dover. Remember, he almost won the Cup Championship last year. He tried staying out, saving fuel, just couldn't quite make it to the end there. And it wound up going to David Weishart with just a handful of laps to go in that race as well. But the gap now slowly ticking down under 5 seconds. Now back above 5 seconds. Robertson crosses the stripe. 4 laps to go now from the Monster Mile. He works his way around Ed Morris Sr., the lap car. And now he will take 3 laps to go now. Looking through, it looks like the Hearn fan club is going to go down there as the victory lane girl and give a little smooch to Ed Robertson if he can last another 2 laps when he crosses the stripe. Got red lipstick ready to go as well. Ed Robertson's going to come off turn 4 and see the white flag. White flag in the air one more time around Dover, presented by Wondergo Studios. Boy, this race has been chaotic, even with only 1 caution. Just the amount of strategy, drivers having issues, cars staying out, such as Ed Robertson, and he's going to go the distance. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Ed Robertson wins the fuel game. He wins at Dover. He goes 82 laps on a fuel run and beats Shane Theron by under 4 seconds. The rest of the field works their way around the track for the final time with, a little bit of contact there between Beckner and Kyle Knapp. Those 2 did have a run-in, which is what led to Beckner's damage. It looks like those 2 will be taking it onto pit road. Meanwhile, Ed Robertson is going to go ahead and see if he has enough fuel for burnouts, and it looks like he might, as you see on the right, the 2 of Knapp and Beckner still door banging down in the pits, but Ed Robertson doing burnouts right in front of the 2 and close to backing it into the wall. Almost reminiscent of Jimmy Johnson. Hey, I need you to back it in. But there is no post-race inspection, so if he did cheat, then it could be, I don't know what it could be. I had a thought and I lost it. But Ed Robertson looking like he's going to do a Polish victory lap. As he's going around the track doing his lap, we will go ahead and bring him up. Ed, this is Hunter and Harold in booth. Got a copy?
10-4, loud and clear.
Boy, we saw all the chaotic strategies that other drivers had, and you planned to go 82 laps. How close was it on fuel?
Very. About 0.4 is what I believe it said as I crossed the line.
Wow.
It was very close indeed.
Nonetheless, you needed every drop in that pit stop to get you to the very end. What led to the decision where, okay, I'm only going to do 1 stop and go from here?
Well, that caution came out just before the halfway mark there, right around it. I ended up clipping the wall at one point. Oddly enough, going down the straightaway. Tell me how one does that. I happened to look over. I threw down a good time in the middle of that run and I saw that I was fastest on track for that lap. So I was trying to see how I was stacking up compared to everybody else at that point in the run. And I tagged the wall. I don't even remember what lap. It was kind of middle of that run. I felt it. It was hurting me ever since then. So during the caution, I stayed on pit road that extra 20 some odd seconds just to get damage repaired. And I'm looking at it like we're right around halfway. During practice, I was getting 75 to 78 on fuel. So I said, you know what? Let's just go forward. I came back in with 1 to go. Coming back to green, just topped off just to get that extra little bit. And right from then, my little fuel calculator was telling me I was ever so close. So I kind of committed right from the rip, drop of that second run there, just to kind of take it nice and easy. Not only just to help save tire, but to definitely save that fuel, because I was showing it was close and clearly just barely made it.
Real quick before Harold has any questions for you, I'm looking through for the second straight week in a row in our chat. No one picked the race winner. Last week it was Alan Elwood. No one picked him, and this week it was you. You won, and no one picked you in the chat.
Gotta stop sleeping on the Muffin Man. What can I say?
Never stop sleeping on the Muffin Man. Then from the Muffin Man himself, Harold. Any thoughts for our race winner?
Well, Ed, it's like you got one cup win and you got this win, so you got one in each series you've been racing with. I don't think you're racing in the trucks, are you?
No, unfortunately, I have other commitments on Tuesdays. So
But you got one in each one, though. Right? That's impressive for a good season start.
I'll tell you, this is definitely a long time coming. I ran full time last year at Xfinity. I ran for points under the Samson banner there and had such a great time. But I felt like I let the team down last year. I wasn't able to come away with a win on the Xfinity side. So I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty sweet that I finally, after a season and a half here, finally getting the dub on these cars. These are definitely some of the tougher cars on this service here. So I'm really stoked to actually do it on what I'd call my home track as well. So that made it just that little bit better too.
Are you going to be here this weekend? I think I saw something in the chat with you.
I'm definitely gonna try. It's a little bit of last minute planning and preparations. I'm most certainly gonna try to be there for the big boys on Sunday. It's always a great time, always a great race down there in Dover.
All right, Ed
Always.
Robinson wins this week. So you got anything else for him there, Hunter?
I was just gonna say, any shots you'd like to give out before you go?
Definitely. I love listening to you guys. You guys put on an amazing broadcast. I do want to say thank you for the shout out. I believe, Hunter, you saw my bowling post I made the other night. It was awesome to hear a shout out mid race about it. But you guys do a great job. I love going back listening to plays. I can't thank you guys enough for what you do. All the admins that help make this series possible, between JB and Weishart and Wineland, everybody does a great job. And most of all, the guys in this league, the competition, it's top notch, top tier. It's always for me, it's always like a nerve wracking anxiousness racing with these guys, because I know they're some of the best of the best. And always just try to push my limits and push myself out there on the track. And unfortunately, didn't come through for me on Monday, but these guys pushed me just enough today where I was able to snag that dub from them. So,
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go and celebrate that win. Have a good night.
take care, guys.
Alrighty, now we'll bring in our second place finisher, Shane Therian. Shane, this is Hunter and Harold in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you guys. I am sorry. I'm on my phone. My headset died with like 10 laps to go.
No, it's all good, but we saw that you were chasing down Ed Robertson, just couldn't quite do it. The tires evened out, and Ed had the fuel to go the distance. Take us through your thoughts on that race, because it was a wacky one, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted redemption from last season because I got wrecked for the win, last season here with who was my teammate, Cameron Hearn. That I just wanted redemption, and caution played out, stayed out, and strategy. So I don't know, man. I was trying to dig as much as I could to catch Ed, but concrete tires evened out and just didn't have enough time. I didn't even think he could make it, to be honest. So that kind of took me by surprise. But man, I really wanted that. Winning at a super speedway is cool, but winning at a non-super speedway actually shows much more of your talent. So this kind of sucks.
Well, indeed, it did, and we saw that you had a pretty fast car, and it seems like your second week in a row, your second fiddle, just didn't quite work out for you in the end. But take us through what Kansas is going to be like next week, because we saw a lot of action here. Not only wrecking wise, we only saw like a couple cars wrecking, but we saw a good bit of drivers getting into the wall. How different of a track will Kansas be than from the traditional mild concrete oval?
I haven't ran Kansas much recently, but I've heard, I'm not sure if it applies to Xfinity cars, but like next gen trucks is the low line nowadays, I guess, which is really odd to me for Kansas. So I don't know. I'll have to run some practice laps, but it is the low line. I think that's going to play a factor if it is, if it's updated like the tire model or whatever. But if it's still a high line, I have no idea. It's going to be track position. So we'll have to see. I mean, we might actually see more cautions at Kansas than we have, on average in this series because of the way that it is at Kansas. But who knows? I'm just going to run aggressive. I'm trying to win races. I already got one. They already got one, so that's the only thing I can do to get some playoff points.
Alrighty. Well, Harold, any final thoughts for Shane?
Just looking pretty good out there. At one time you were gaining about a second, but the tires evened out between you and Mr. Robertson. But you were definitely the class act out there. Fuel strategy, we were thinking he might not have had enough, but he saved just enough to get there. He said like 0.4 left in his fuel tank at the end.
Yeah, he he did what he did. That's what me and Cameron Hearn did last season. We both saved fuel, and he ran out off to turn 4, and I ran out right after the line. So I can't knock him for doing that because I did the same thing last year, but it just kind of sucks being on the other side of it.
All right. Well, that was our second place finisher, Shane Thieren. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up here?
Yeah, I want to thank, High Banks Podcast, Rhino USA, Elwood Designs, the whole Elwood team. We showed speed tonight, just didn't come out on the strategy side. And then, thank you guys for broadcasting in the area, for having me. It's been fun. So hopefully I can keep competing like I have been all year. I didn't do that all last year, so it's been fun.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go and celebrate that second place finish, and hopefully we'll see you finish one spot better next week at Kansas. Have a good night.
I hope so. Thank you.
All right, that was second place finisher Shane Thieren, and we will not be getting a word from Colin Fanbro, so we'll go ahead and give you your finishing results here. Ed Robertson with the win, Shane Thieren in second, Colin Fanbro, Alan Elwood, James Skyerly rounding out your top 5 with Davey Hendricks, Garrett Grant, Danny Ware, Bryce Senesac, and Carter Cooper rounding out the top 10.
And 11th through 20th is Rick Christensen, Joe Hazard, Kyle Knapp, Ed Morris Sr., Adam Kapp, and 16 back, Jordan Martin, Travis Beckner, Richard Thomas, Christopher Buds, Cameron Hearn in the 20th spot.
In the last 2 spots, Forrest Smith 21st and Mason Kane, who did not make it to the starting grid, coming home 22nd. And real quick, our Elwood Designs race recap. Ed Robertson leading 44 laps, but Alan Elwood led the most. Ed Robertson got the win, 1 caution for 4 laps. 22 drivers in the field, with Cameron Hearn putting down the fastest lap of a 23.343. Harold, any final thoughts before we wrap it up here from the capital of Delaware?
Well, moving out from Delaware to the Midwest next week with the very wide track of Kansas. Should see some very good racing Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night with the area iRacing. If you like what you see here, you can check us out, One to Go Studios. We do pick up we have a Friday night and a Sunday night, and you can check us out on our platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And not until then, we got you back here Monday night with Hunter and Josh Metlock for Kansas.
We'll be back Monday night for the Elite Entertainment Cup Series, Tuesday night for the CNC Logging Truck Series, and a week from tonight for the Lodgebox Series at Kansas. And I'll do it here from everyone up here to executive producer Harold Darner and Jacob Bell. I'm Ernest Levy saying so long, and we'll see you later.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.